I've always thought is, when you come into a school, walk in, shake everyone's hand, introduce yourself. Simplest thing. Everyone will get to know everyone's names, everyone will get to know everyone, and it's the simplest show of respect as well. Shake someone's hand. Right? Yeah. That's it. Like it's not rocket science, it's just, as I say, very professional, and it's very simple. It just,
don't be cocky.
Yeah, it just adds a bit more, and because you'll have a good reputation in the back, because you have a good reputation of what you do in the ring, you have much more of a chance of going somewhere and doing something more and being allowed to travel abroad or travel and do, as you say, up to Dublin for days or up north or whatever. Like, I mean, I travel the length and width of this country. Yeah, no matter what your goal is to do, no matter where you want to go.
Austin, I mean, like I said, there's a show here every 3 months or so. Yeah. I mean, you said you did 3 years permanent. I mean, were you travelling around, or is it just the place was, regular or what?
One time the company I was working with, we were doing about 90 shows a year with one company, and then I might have had 40 or 50 shows abroad as well, not in Ireland. So I mean, you're talking, if there's 52 weeks in a year, it's a minimum of 3 days a week on a show. Absolute minimum. There's other times where I did tours where in 2 weeks I might do 30 matches. So you would do 2 shows a day. And on some shows you do two matches. So it all counts up. I go around because when I'm in the locker room, everyone knows I'm usually the guy cracking jokes, taking the piss, having a laugh.
Taking your clothes off.
That's it.
Flashing yourself.
But everyone in every locker room that's been in will remember me for something. It's usually for taking the piss and having a laugh. But I'm still professional, I'm still courteous to everyone, and I still shake everyone's hand. And I'm around 10 years, nearly. No one is above anything in wrestling. I've broken all my ribs, I've broken every finger, both my hands. I've severely damaged my neck. I've dislocated my shoulder. I tore the trap off that bone, which was a good fun. I missed about 6 teeth. And my elbow on that arm is in 2. And what I mean is it's in 2 I'll actually show you. This happened during a match. A guy hit me with a chair. My arm looks fine.
Oh, don't do it.
There's the rest of my elbow. Right? But you will get hurt with little things like that, but little niggling pains like that, they'll last for a few hours and then they're gone. But in terms of like over 10 years and over probably about 1,000 matches I've had, having 8 or 9 broken bones isn't really that major of a thing. I mean, I've had a few injuries that have niggled, like when you dislocate a shoulder. The best thing you can do is, if you get any injury, is not try and rush coming back. Mm-hmm. Take your time, recover, wait till you're healed. Like, even if you get injured in training and you decide, I can't come down and train, come down and watch the class. You'd be surprised what you'll learn just watching. Because even if you're there, you'll be soaking in some information, one way or another. So don't always think that, I'm injured, I've hurt my arm, I can't train for 3 weeks. You can't train in the ring for 3 weeks. You can still turn up. You can still turn up and learn something. You can still watch what's going on. You can still see, like, the chain wrestling. If you see it over and over again, you'll learn it just from watching, and then you'll get in and do it, like, when you're healed. So don't worry too much about injuries. Like, injuries will happen, yes. Most of the time, 99% of shows, injuries are quite minor. They're very minor. They're scrapes and bumps and bruises, and I mean, like, you'll wake up in the morning, the things like that, which I have no idea where I got that from. I have no idea where it's from. I've been hit with chairs, a hurley, a push bike, thumbtacks, a toy belt, a mask, a mannequin head. I don't know where the mannequin head came from. You'd be surprised. If you're watching a film or you're watching a play, there could be a good guy and there could be a bad guy. You cannot, during the show at the theatre, get up and punch the bad guy in the theatre. You will get milled out of it instantly, or you will get arrested, or both. But people seem to think because it's wrestling, because we hit each other, that it's fine to hit a wrestler. It's really not either. Kids shouldn't be hitting you either, which is why generally we try and have security and keep a space between the floor and the seats. And that's not just for guys falling to the outside and not just guys diving. That's because kids shouldn't be right on top of you, because they shouldn't be hitting you, realistically. Like I said, you can't go to the theatre and hit a guy. You can't come out and go, if you went to a movie and you saw the bad guy and you saw him walking down the red carpet, you were an arsehole in that movie. You can't do it. You'll be nicked straight away. You can't do it. But people have this idea, because it's wrestling, that you can you can break these little laws, but it's why we try and keep barriers between us and the kids. You know, it's why also the ring is up on a height. It's up on a height for a reason, to keep us away from everyone. That you're sat down and you're looking up, you're looking away. Any match, actually guys, any match you're doing, whether you realise it or not, every match has psychology. And what we mean by psychology is you have to want to cheer the good guy, you have to want to boo the bad guy. So you have to make the crowd want that guy to win and want that guy to lose. You have to do it. But the match has to make sense as well. So you can't just go in and kick a guy in the head, then kick him in the leg, then punch him in the ribs, then put his arm in the hole and he tap out. So you'll often see a guy will work a leg for a whole match and then lock him in a leg hold.
Connect with the fans.
And then he'll do it. But it gives you something to do as well. And if it's a bad guy working on a good guy's leg, when the good guy's fighting up on one leg, it gives you more reason to want him to win. It will give you a psychological reason to want that guy to win. That's what I mean. Like the psychology of a match. When you're doing training matches, we brought through how to start a match, why you start it that way, how to do a middle, why you do it that way, into a comeback and into a finish. Like the basic layout for a match is you start off slow, generally with chain and things like that. It's just to get the crowd used to the two guys in it and let you know which guy is heel and which guy is face, so the crowd know who they're cheering and who they're booing. Usually the heel will cheat to start what we call the heat, which the reason we call it heat is because the crowd will give the bad guy heat in the ring. They'll boo him. So that's why he'll beat the good guy down and beat him down and beat him down to a point where when the crowd want him to come back, the guy should come back. Yeah. He has his comeback. He always comes back quick. The good guy is usually quicker, the bad guy is usually much slower. Whether you notice it or not, it's usually the way it runs. He comes back quick, and then there's a finish. And it's over. It makes perfect sense because then it starts slow. It builds up into a cut-off to annoy you. The heat is nice and slow, so you have the bad guy taking over most of the match, and then we have what we call hope spots, where at some points the face will come back with a move or two and then get cut off. You bring the crowd up again, you bring the crowd down again when you cut them off. It makes psychological sense. So the crowd should go up, down, and then the finish should be a big up and a big cheer. But the psychology of everything will come into place, not just on your training matches where you're on the card. It'll be gone through when you're doing training, but it's very simple and it's laid out perfectly so that everyone can follow the same basic principle. Like each match might look completely different, but if you look at the breakdown, they'll have the same start, middle, finish. They'll have the same breakdown of a match to make perfect sense, so that the crowd will react when they want them to react, so that the good guy is over as a good guy and the bad guy is over as a bad guy. The referee should always have a watch on him, so when the match starts, the ref knows you have 12 minutes. He checks his watch. So when he look, you might see again the bad guy could be beating the good guy in the corner. You might come over and go, guys, 2 minutes. So you know you have 2 minutes now to wrap up your match. So if you know your finishing spot is going to take 1.5 minutes, you better start it now. You know, where there's little things like that. For myself, after enough time, I get the feel I know how much time I've spent in the ring. I know how much time stuff takes. I know how much time has elapsed. I don't need a watch. I don't need a ref. I just use my own feeling and I go with it, and I'm generally fairly spot on my times as well. So it'll come with experience, but especially for the start, if the ref hasn't got a watch, bring a watch and give it to the ref and make him wear it. I've often brought a watch and put it on the ref. Go, there you go. It's like, you tell me when 10 minutes are up. But that's how you'll learn at the very start. You'll get little warnings, or guys like the commentators or guys like the security or guys knocking around might often have timepieces in front of them, and they might start and they know you have 12 minutes. When they get to 10, they might signal to the ref like 2 minutes to the ref, and that's when the ref comes over, guys, 2 minutes, yeah. Or someone might come round and something's happened in the back. It's like, actually, we need to call this now, finish the match. The ref will go in, okay, no problem, guys, okay, finish this match, and then you finish it there and then. You just do what you're told. If something happened and you're told to finish, you finish, because the show is everybody as they're working together for one goal, which is a good show and have the crowd enjoy themselves. So you don't be selfish and go, I'm not finishing now. You finish then. There could be a good reason why you're told to finish. Everyone has to run to one particular goal.
Just for instance, like when you're working with someone, a new person, for instance, what are things that you hate them to be doing and things that we should be looking at not to do?
Jesus. That question could go on forever. Like, you don't really need to worry about stuff you are or aren't doing at the start. More so work on little things like keeping your body straight, keeping your head up when you're doing simple little things like locking up, wrist locks, keep your arms straight, just keep close to each other. Try not to move around your feet too much when you're doing moves. Like if you have a hold on someone, like if I have a hold on, if I'm standing here like this looks like I have him in a hold, but if I'm doing this, kind of looks like I need to pee, or like why am I doing that? Like why am I just locking it in and holding it? Moving around too much adds too much, and if he's trying to reverse me and I'm doing this, it makes it so much harder for him to do. Stand your ground. The whole idea is you're supposed to be, an athlete. Grab it, lock it in and hold in place. This is your hold. You don't move. Gives him time to move with you, gives you time to move with him. Don't move around so much. Don't take all these little steps. Don't worry. Your steps should be fluid, 1 or 2 steps. Like if I'm going from one move to another, I don't go. It takes so long. It should be a fluid movement of just 1 step. I'm here. I'm in the next move. It's solid little movements. That's what I mean by careful of where your feet are. Work with each other. Like he moved with me there so I can get in behind him in 1 step. Little things that always work together. If someone's not breaking a hold with you, just say to them, let go when I grab there. Like don't be afraid to talk to each other. Like, you know what I mean? Like when you're there, especially in training, that's the best time to do it. If someone won't break a hold, break when I do that. No problem. If you're trying something new, ask and like, okay, I want to try this, but I need him to break the hold. And explain to them what you're doing, and they'll go with you. But if someone won't work with you, do say it to someone else. Do say it to your trainer, like they won't allow me to do this. They keep blocking me from doing that. Other than that, like don't worry about stuff like that for the moment. Just worry about keeping your feet solid, keeping your movement solid, keep everything nice and fluid. And don't worry about speed of it. Speed of it will come with it. Keep everything like I said with chain connected. Yeah, basic foundation. Keep it connected. Keep it slow. Keep your movements good, and that'll all just start to flow into each other.
What was the longest match you ever competed in? The
longest match?
Like 30 minutes, 60 or the longest?
It was an hour and 15 minutes.
If somebody's actually legitimately injured in the ring,
Yes.
how would it be up to the guy who's injured to finish the match, the referee, or yourself?
If a guy is legitimately injured, depending on the injury, it's generally up to that guy. Like I've been injured before. Like I said, I've broken bones, I've broken a hand or a finger, whatever. I've always finished my matches. That's me. Other guys, they might fall down, they might damage a knee, they might damage a rib, they might damage an elbow, whatever it is. If they lie on the ground, they can grab the ref and go, tell him roll me up. The guy will come over, roll him up, 1, 2, 3. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter who wins or who loses. It's a fixed fight anyway. It's not a legitimate competition. And if you're injured, it's more important that you get out of there quickly without any further injuries than worrying about doing a moonsault off the top rope. It's more about keep you safe. You will often see, you've probably seen this symbol before, have you? A ref do this.
Yeah.
That means the guy is legitimately injured. So whenever you see a ref do that, that means the guy's hurt. So I have seen matches before where a guy hit the deck and the ref would just push people away and just kind of done that, and everyone's just okay and left him. That means the guy is hurt to a point where he cannot continue, and he just stays there. Then you look after him. At the end of the day, most of the time, everyone is usually friends or like close enough that you're working together. You don't want to actually hurt the guy. So if the guy is down, you're not going to want to jump on him and hit him. You're going to want to help him. Man, like I said, inside crook. It's just straight and over, straight and over. That's your movement. Right. So this arm straight, left arm straight, right arm straight over. Okay? Go again. Perfect. Guys, one more thing as well. You're all ducking your heads as you're doing it. The main reason you don't duck your head when you're doing it and look down is for the simplest reason, as you lock up, if you both do that, smash. Again, you're going to fuck someone up. If you go in at high speed or to either run at the start of a match and you just go in and just go bang, you're probably going to knock them out, knock out some teeth or do some serious damage. Head up. The other reason your head is up, 1, you can see them. 2, you know you're going to be able to stop because you can see them. And 3, nobody pays to see you wrestle like that. You can't see your fucking face. If you can't see your face, you don't know who you are. How are they supposed to know you're in pain? If your head's down like that, oh, I'm in pain. How do you know? So if you're locked up this way and someone puts you in a move, if your head is up as they lock the move, they can see your face. They can see if you're in pain, they can see if you're in control. They can also see simple things like, does everyone know heel and face?
I do.
Right.
Heel's the bad guy, face the good guy.
Exactly, right? So the face is generally going to be happier. So if the face locks up, he's probably going to be smiling or a bit happier. The heel is going to be a bit more angry. Again, if you both lock up like this and you can't see your faces, how the fuck do you know who's who? Right? Where if one locks up and one looks angry, yeah, you can see my face. You can tell what I'm doing.
That you're on fire burning the face.
Right? Simple little things, but they make all the difference. Like I said, if you go in the wrong way, your head down like this, and you can't see anything, and it looks sloppy as well. Because I mean, if you watch any match and you see two guys walk together into this, you're not going to come back to that show. No one's going to come back to that show, and no one's going to join that school either. Simple little things. Look up, face your opponent, because at the end of the day, you're working together, right? Although you're opponents, you're working together with each other. You have to work there. So if you can't see each other, or one person's looking at the ground, the other person's trying to talk to them, it's useless. You know, look up. Yeah, okay. You can't say shit. You have to look up. You have to stay communicating with each other. You're always constantly communicating with each other in the ring. So eyes focused and lock. You won't hit each other then that way, right? It's also why you lock so tight, because then your bodies won't connect. You'll keep a nice little space between you, okay? Everyone else, different pairs, try again. No. Just jump on someone else. That's fair for anybody. Doesn't matter who it is. Take a step back, you step in. Right? Yeah, both just take a step in. Don't be afraid. You're not going to hit each other. Like I said. Over again.
It's just when you hear that, like.
That's what I mean by a lock up, right? The reason it's a lock is to lock your body into there. So if you come in nice and weak, nothing to it. That's why when you lock in, lock at me. Solid. You're not going anywhere, I'm not going anywhere. You're not going to hurt each other. You're hitting here and you just grab it around, get on the shoulder. You're not going to hurt someone, so don't be afraid of hurting someone. Right? You just lock up nice and tight. That's what I mean. Don't sound like it's weird. Like, the harder you hit the mat, the less it's going to hurt. Yeah. When you lock up tighter, it's going to be better because you're not going to break into each other. It still sounds like it's the opposite of the way it should work, doing it harder. You do it harder for those reasons because you're not going to hurt someone. You're not going to hurt yourself, right? Okay. So, log me out and don't be so much better. Right? Go again. Down. Good. Perfect. Perfect. Right. Guys, I'm going to teach you to go from a lock up into a wrist lock, right? So, lock up, very simple. Go into a wrist lock. Your left hand, you throw the arm away, the body's now open, throw over, float, grab the wrist, two hands, right? So your thumb's on the back of the hand. As you turn, you can then bend the wrist for a wrist lock, okay? Right? So once more, you lock up, throw away, it opens the whole body. Arm over, right? If you can't see, come over this side, right? You grab in a hand, both hands, thumbs on the back, turn, and then bring it into you, okay? That's a wrist lock. Right, swap. So you're going to throw Luke's arm away. Left arm, right? Yeah, go. Left arm away. Yeah, float over. And grab his wrist this way. Two hands around his wrist. Now go around his wrist. Go around his wrist. Yeah. Go around his wrist. Thumbs on. Now turn the body and bring it down to you. You always bring it down to you, into you. Okay? Try one more time. Try. Left arm. Try again. Left arm. Over. Yep. Grab the wrist. Back of the hand. Sorry. Put your hands around his wrist, basically. Around his wrist. There. Oh, I got you. And now you turn his hand and then turn him into you. Yeah. Okay. The reason it's called a wrist lock is to go around the wrist. It is also a legitimate move, right? If I grab his hand and I actually push, he will go down, whether he wants to or not. Right? If I keep going, he will go down. Right?
It hurts.
All the moves you'll see are legitimate moves. I mean, like if I grab him again for even like you've all probably seen like a hammer lock where someone's behind. In wrestling, we do it with my team together. You're not really hurting the guy. If I lift, Luke's gone. Luke hasn't got a choice, right? No matter how big or how small you are, it works the same way. When you're doing it as well, you do it nice and loose. You don't try to break the guy's wrist. You keep it in. And the reason we keep it in nice and tight and go around the wrist is because here, you're still connected, you're still close to each other. So if they need to grab you for the next move, you're not all the way out there. Plus, this looks a bit hokey holding someone like this. Because where's your pressure? Because they can just walk away. Where here, it looks like you can put your body on top of it. Again, you're not making pressure. That's all I'm doing. I'm not pushing. Your hand's just around his wrist, okay? So when you do it, don't snap into someone's wrist. Just grab your hands, grab their thumb, and just slowly bring it up to your chest. That's it, okay? Guys, next two in the corners. Go.
I'm going to go first there.
Do this lock up. You're going to push the arm away first, okay? Lock up. Push the left arm away. Yep. Reach over. Around the wrist. Turn and bring it in. You doing it? Stand up a bit, right? There you go. Perfect. Right? The other reason as well, like I was saying earlier, when you're locking up and you have someone and you just look at each other and you keep your head up, it's for the simple reason. Put your wrist lock. Left hand. Thank you. If you're in a wrist lock, right, you're supposed to be in pain. If I do this, again, how do you know if I'm in pain? How do you know if it's hurting me? So if you're down or you're turned away from it, no one can tell you. Grant. So, whichever one you say. Right. So, to break it, you're working your elbow up, elbow inside, elbow. Yeah. Come round. Perfect. And hold. Don't adjust it. Swap it up. Swap it up. Yeah. You're dropping it. Yeah. Over. Left, I love it. Left arm off, right? Left arm. Turn. Right. Look. Time. Break. Down. Turn. Easy. Right. Next two. You want to hear this? Grant. Perfect. Right. Lock up. You take the wrist lock first, okay? You're going to put it on. Go. Okay. Now, so you're going to break the reversal. So, pop the elbow. Right. Elbow inside. And step under that way. Hold on to the arm. Out the way. And you have a wrist lock. Perfect. Swap it up. Same again. So you're going to put him in the wrist lock first. Right. So lock. Left arm. Left arm. Left arm. Swap. Go over. Yep. Turn. Same again. Break the elbow. Elbow inside. No. Turn this way. This way. Turn under his arm. Under his arm. Go under his arm. There you go. Go under his arm. Alright. The reason you go under his arm as well is, again, a very simple reason. When someone's breaking it, if you go and you go to go this way, you're just pulling them with you. There's no way to break it. You're going away from the body. You go back into them. Again, keep them with the chain. So when you go back into them, you're keeping close to the body to break it. You know? You don't feed away from the person. You always feed towards them, because, like I said, it's always a group thing. You're always working together. So whenever you're doing it, try not to ever turn away from someone. It's always going to be turn towards them, no matter what you're doing. You're only kind of working this side of the crowd, because only they can see totally what you're doing. Where these three sides have been left out because you're way over here. If you're dead center of the ring, you're including the entire audience. Everyone has paid the same to be there, so everyone deserves the same show, which is why even simple little things you'll see, you probably don't realise why they do it. If someone's in it, you'll often see someone, and they'll reach through a rope, and then someone will pull, and they'll turn. The reason is you're then walking and letting the whole crowd see, all four sides, exactly what hold you're in, what you're doing, that you're in pain. Then you break it, and then you go round. And again, when I take the next hold, they'll do the same. I won't just hold it there, and I work them and kind of make them move a bit, because then I'm working more the crowd. But you stay in the middle of the ring, because 1, it gives you space. 2, you're not near the ropes. 3, you involve the whole crowd. And 4, that is the very softest part of the ring, the very centre, where the spring is. So if you're going to have to take a bump at any point, you're going to want to take it here, not there. If you take it in the corners, you will feel it. Hammer lock. You all know what a hammer lock is? Right. Yeah. Hammer lock. Again, you're going to break the hold. Yeah. Easy way. Break the hold. Step under and go under. That's it. Easy way to go straight from a wrist lock. What we're going to do is we're going to go straight from a wrist lock, or straight from a lock up and then from a wrist lock. So the one from the wrist lock. So they put you in a wrist lock. Easy one. Break. Step under. Go behind. Step in. Yes. It's almost the same, but you just don't need to use the elbow. You're stepping out, right? Easy. When you have the hammer lock on, all you're doing is everyone come around this side so they can see, right? See it? Forward. I put my hand there, and you grip. The reason you grip is because then when you're moving around each other, you won't lose each other. Like I said, it should always be a chain. So you're holding there, you're not pushing there, you're not trying to hurt them. So you're holding there in place. And it means then, if you got to step out or do anything or turn them, you're always connected, you always have a hold. even if you pull them down to go for a headlock, you're connected, you're still connected. You've never let go, right? Which is why you hold on. It also means that if they're trying to run around the ring or get the ropes if it's a heel, you're not going to suddenly walk away because you're barely holding on to them. Your grip is nice and solid, so no matter where they run, it's, still have it. Right? Like that, breaks the hold. Again, it makes the space for you to go under, you step, and you're in, okay? So when you're doing it, don't release the hold until the thing is broken. Like I said, when you're doing any of the reversals you're doing, that releases the pressure. That breaks the hold on this one. That releases the pressure. That breaks the hold. You're breaking the hold. It should be a quick shot to break the hold. Like I said, if you watch any other martial arts, the hold isn't broken with slow, little, oh, now I have a space. It's broken with a quick shot, you know what, and out, right? The ref is the most important, one of the most important people in the match. You'll often see two people lying on the ground and the ref comes over. You okay? You okay? What he's actually done is he's come over and I've gone, tell him duck a clothesline. Are you okay? Yeah, no, he says duck a clothesline. And the ref, okay, you're both okay. He gets up, he knows to duck a clothesline. I swing it, oh shit. I turn around. We know. The ref communicates so much stuff. Or often sometimes if people get lost and they run to the corner, you'll see the heel, you know, sitting in the corner and the ref comes out and like, ref, come here. Tell him to grab my hand from behind, you know, and you step back. You're like, yeah, and then he grabs your hand. You communicate with the ref. You can tell each other. You're always talking in the ring. You're always talking to each other. You're always communicating with each other. And the reason is you're working together. You're not working against each other. So you talk to each other constantly. So don't worry about talking to each other beforehand. Get there into the hold. Then talk to each other. Work with each other. Make a space for each other. Help each other out, because it's going to look better on both of you if you both help each other instead of fight each other. Like I said, if you're trying to break a hold and they won't release the hold, this just looks stupid, me doing this all day. If I can do that and it's open space, it instantly makes it look like I've broken it, but we're still working together. Right? Everyone understand what I mean?
Well, for the last 2 years, I've always been very keen on it. You know, like when I first started originally, I was probably about 15 years old and 21 now. So about 2 years ago, I started figuring out the more ins and outs of the psychology aspect, the athleticism aspect, keeping each other safe, the communication, all that kind of stuff, and that always really intrigued me. You know, people say wrestling's fake, but I hate that because, you know, when you get to know more of it, it's more impressive, I think, because it's more complex. There's actually more stuff in it. And doing that today now, like, was just an absolute kind of dream come true, because I actually really wanted to be able to do it. In fact, that it's in Cork now, of all places, because like usually when you want to do this kind of stuff in Ireland, you got to go to Dublin, and that sucks. You don't want to be going up to the country, especially when you're local in Cork. I have a trampoline at home, and that's not an ideal comparison now, like, but I always try to do that kind of stuff now. Like, I mean, I did a kip up and down today, and like I just had to do that because like I want to be able to see. It wasn't for showing off purpose. I was just see could I actually do it in the ring, because I never actually had been in a ring before. So things like the flip bump, that's something that I'm going to get in judo. Like I asked him the question about, like, you know, where can we kind of make a makeshift kind of bump area, and I'm going to do that when I go home, and I want to be able to practice that, because I hate not being able to do something more than anything in the world. So that's going to be something that I'm going to be working on, and like, you know, having an instructor to actually critique and tell us what we're doing wrong and tell us what to do next, and after that really helps the whole thing come together, and I really can't wait for this to actually, hopefully it'll take off.
How did you find actually bumping for the first time?
Well, for the first time? You know, I actually have a Taekwondo background. I'm a black belt in Taekwondo. I've actually did it for 7 years. And I did a bit of Muay Thai, did a bit of Jiu-Jitsu, Brazilian style, and doing bumps, I knew what to expect. Sure. So like, it was still rough. Obviously it's rough, and like, you know, actually the first time I did the kind of the sideways roll, I hurt my shoulder. I'm like, damn it! But I had to kind of, like, you know, I didn't want to lose my swag kind of thing. I got to kind of brush it off. But yeah, I think it's difficult, but it's manageable. Like, and it's like, you know, I'd be very interested in doing it in the future. I look up to people like CM Punk, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels. These are people that could do both. Yeah. And I always like to think to myself that I could do anything. You know, the worst thing is when someone says I can't do something, because then I have to do it. I mean, I was a really fat kid. Like, I was like 4 foot nothing, 14 years old, and 200 pounds. I'm 205 pounds now. Like, so you can imagine how circular I was, like, and then just someone said, like, Mark, you'll never be able to do this, and I was like, no, okay. I just said, enough's enough. 1 year, decided to train, lost 65 pounds in a year, happy out, and just like it's been a building block process ever since then.
I had some level of training when I was very young, but I kind of forgot it all basically, and it was brilliant to get back in and do the basics of it again with someone like Vic, because that was brilliant to have him in.
How do you find taking the bumps?
Taking the bumps was cool. It was very good. I was worried that I wouldn't be able to do it, but it's something that I kind of practiced anyway, because my actual day job is an actor, so when doing stunts on stage and stuff, you kind of would have to know how to break fall anyway and stuff like that, so it was okay. I think it would definitely would benefit me if I was to take it into wrestling, because with selling and with engaging in the crowd, it's kind of something that I'm trained to do from an acting point of view, and obviously building a character and things like that, acting would definitely help out. But when I was younger, I was much more skinny, and so I don't think that would work now, because I'm 6'2" and I'm big enough, I suppose, like, do you know what I mean? So I'm not sure that would work, but I love playing a heel. Movement isn't my strongest point. I know that for wrestling that's mental, but I was never very confident in my movement. It's part of the reason why I actually wanted to do the class, is because I was not necessarily confident with movement. I'd always, as a child, have very kind of clumsy movements, and when I first did wrestling when I was younger, I was very clumsy and stuff like that. So that would probably be my biggest thing, trying to break through that. Like,
Get it out of yourself.
With all the chain wrestling and stuff, you have to know what movements you're doing and all that, and that's probably going to be the toughest part for me.
I kind of knew what I was in for. I kind of knew what was going to happen, and like it's wrestling. It's not going to be easy. It's a tough sport. Like, but once you grasp it, like it's a great payout at the end of the day, you know.
And do you have any kind of ideas for a character going forward? Or?
Well, I have had a few names for a character. One of my names was Lewis Cannon, like loose cannon.
Oh,
yeah, because I kind of see myself as a high flyer because of my height and my weight, like, you know. So so that's one character in there. So we'll see how it goes, like, you know, in the future, you know.
It was a great experience, really. It's beyond whatever I've imagined, really. I mean, you actually get in there. There are people telling you that it's not real, it's not going to hurt. Then you get in there, you do it. It hurts a lot more than it's expected, and it's a great experience to actually do this. I've been wanting to do this for a long while, and having CCW just appear out of nowhere, it's amazing. I can learn to do what I want. Once I started doing the bumps, once I got the hang of it, I was alright with it.
Which did you find to be the most challenging of the bumps that you took?
Definitely the front flip. I've actually never attempted anything like that before, so it's something I can work on and hopefully get better at that.
What made you come down for the seminar?
I'm interested in wrestling, I really am. I've been watching it for a long time, well, maybe not as long as others, but a long time still yet. And this is just what I want to learn how to do.
Who would you cite as somebody that got you into the business as an influence, someone that you look up to and say, if I could model myself on certain morals of a certain character, who would you choose?
After all my years watching wrestling, I would choose Chris Jericho. He's one of the superstars that have rarely been injured. At the most, what I've seen is just losing a tooth in a ladder match with Shawn Michaels, and that was just about it. He doesn't get seriously injured, and that's actually great.
What about ideas for if CCW were to take you on board and put you on one of the shows, and they said, look, we want you to come up with a character for yourself. Any idea what you'd go for?
Not entirely. I would need to think that through, but I see myself as a face at the moment. I'd have to kind of think it through and everything, see how that goes, but right now, that's all I got mapped down.